Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Today is going to be an absolutely wonderful day. We are going to be talking to a woman who is in the technology and arts field. As many of you know, women are trailblazing in entrepreneurship. As they trailblaze in entrepreneurship, they are increasing the amount of businesses that they are operating. Right now, we started at 4 million at one point, and now we actually have in the United States about 11 million women-owned businesses. Women-owned businesses are taking over, and it's absolutely phenomenal. The other wonderful thing about it is that 79% of those women are women of color. And today, we are actually going to talk with someone who is going to give us a perspective of what it actually means to be in this particular field of technology and arts. I am your host. My name's Alina Lopez Thomas, and you're watching Grown Talk. Let's get started. All right. Hello. Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I have my friend here, Miss Sonya Tanae Fort. And Sonya is a photographer and graphic designer. And I'm being really generous because I'm only giving her a small piece of what she actually is, because I think you have so much more than just that. But let's talk about that a little bit. Can you just give me, give our audience and everybody just a little bit of an overview of yourself and your business?
Okay. You already mentioned my name is Sonya Tanae Fort. I have been a graphic designer for almost 20 years, mostly in the nonprofit sector. I have been a photographer for about 6 years, which kind of came about accidentally. Because one of my nephews, I always had a love for photography,
Yes.
but one of my many nephews wouldn't do his high school senior pictures unless I did it.
So he said, no, I'm not going to do it unless
No, he would not. My sister actually asked me to borrow one of my coworkers. Her husband did photography, and so she had actually this same camera, which is the one I ended up buying. So my sister asked me to do it because he refused to do it unless I tried to do it. So I was trying to explain to him that the two are not the same, you know, being a graphic designer and being a photographer. But fortunately, he wouldn't accept that, and I ended up borrowing the camera and shooting his pictures, and they came out pretty good. So then kind of became a hobby, and then it just gravitated into being rolled into my business plan, because since I was probably in my early 20s, I had intended to open when I was 40. I was off by 2 years, but
Did you say 40?
Yes, when I was 40, I was gonna open a graphic design studio. But since the photography came along, it took me a couple more years, so I opened last year. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been challenging. A lot of support from family and friends.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about family.
Yes.
Because you have a very impressionable family. It's big.
Very big.
Yes, it's very,
Very
big. So just talk a little bit about that, because I think it really does build into how you sector yourself off into entrepreneurship, starting your own business. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I'm the youngest of 10 kids, 5 girls, 5 boys. My mom's the youngest of 17. My dad's third of 18. So, you know, most of my family hails from Mississippi. I was born here, but 8 of my 9 siblings and my parents were born down south. My parents have been married for 62 years since they were 15 and 17 years old. Yes.
Very beautiful.
And one of my brothers, the one that passed away, his name was Casper. He died on April 22nd, 2003, at the age of 32 from a brain aneurysm. But he was my best friend. Best friend. We finished each other's sentences. We basically were like twins, even though we were 5 years apart. And so even having the dream to start a business was kind of something that we talked about and put in my head, because he believed I can do anything. And because he believed it so much, then I started to believe it too. And at the time that he passed away, he was working towards opening his own martial arts school. He was a martial artist.
Did you do martial arts by any chance?
I did with him when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our taekwondo was our thing.
Okay.
So he didn't get to start his business, and so that made starting mine even more important to me, because I do this journey is not just mine, it's ours, it's his. And so every day, everything I do is colored by my relationship with my brother and the things that he taught me, his belief in me, the things that I believe in myself because of him and because of my family, my other siblings, and my parents as well.
Yeah, that's really, that's inspirational, because you're basically holding on to something and you're actually just grew from it. You just, started your own and stuck to what it was that you two had actually talked about.
Yes.
So
I believe he'd be very, very proud today.
He's very proud. You're gonna make me cry, girl. Don't do that to me.
Don't do that to me either. I don't do that in public, let alone on TV.
I know, right? Okay. So, Sonya, let's talk a little bit about technology and women in this particular field. What do you think about that, as far as is it something that you see that is getting broader and bigger, or where do you see it at?
I do believe it's getting broader and bigger. Even photography itself, there's very few women, by the numbers, and even fewer women of color. And then the same thing with technology and sciences in general, because technology and art are considered part of sciences.
Right.
So in sciences in general, it's a disproportionate number of women as it is to males, but that number has been growing through, more interest for various reasons. I know there's a lot of programs, various businesses do programs. For that matter, I believe either Canon or Nikon, I think it's Canon, actually has a program for women who do photography for, trying to reach younger girls, high school girls, junior high girls, elementary school girls, to try to get them more interested in photography.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So we have the absolute pleasure of being able to actually sit in what your studio would look like, or something that people would be able to experience. Before we go into that, though, tell the audience what type of photography that you do, or do you specialize in a particular one? What is it about? Where are you at?
I do all types of photography. I love photography. I love graphic design. I love all artsy stuff. So I do portraits. I do corporate shoots. I do events. I do weddings. You name it. Basically whatever pays the bills.
Okay.
Well, not whatever, but whatever within reason that that pays the bills. But as far as which one I love the most, I can't really put an exact thing. It depends on what it is. Like, my favorite shoot is the one I did for my parents last year on their 61st anniversary. Because they hate taking pictures, so I know that they did that to leave something for me and an experience for me, because they're getting older.
Right.
I already knew that before they said it, but even after they said it, it made it mean so much more. And when I was, planning to open the studio last year, we did their shoot last June. Their anniversary is June 8th, and I opened July 8th, a month later. But the picture that you guys are going to be cycling through of the older couple, that's my parents. That picture in my mind is the picture that was behind my desk big. So I intentionally shot that picture because I wanted to capture basically the last 62 years, really 64, because they dated for 2 years before they got married. But I wanted to try to encapsulate their lifetime in that shot. So things like that are very sentimental, either to me or even to the people that I'm shooting for, that I enjoy. Or one of the other things I enjoy is when I do portraits. Sometimes when people are hesitant to take pictures and they're like, "Oh, I don't look good. I'm not going to come out right," or whatever. And then we take the picture. I give it to them, and then they see themselves in a different light. They feel beautiful, and they say, when it was beforehand, "Oh, I'm not going to come out right. I don't look good," and then when they see themselves in the pictures, and then they feel like they look beautiful, that's also always a plus for me as well.
Definitely, I see that as a plus. We're actually getting ready to take a short break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're actually going to step into the studio a little further and see what else you have.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's do it. So one of the things that is really amazing about the work that Sonya does is it's very broad, and I really appreciate that, especially when you're thinking about photography. Sometimes people concentrate just in one area. With Sonya's business, she really has broadened the whole feature of doing photography. She added graphic design to it. Well, actually not added graphic design. That is who she is, a graphic designer. But one of the things that I like is that, Sonya, you added fine art to your business and to your pictures. We're going to talk about fine art, but I also want you to talk about them babies. But go ahead. I knew that would make you laugh. Let's talk about fine art. What did you do? What feature did you have?
Well, I started just shooting some various different things, and someone I saw and happened to meet Martha Tepper Takayama of Tepper Takayama Fine Arts in Boston.
Okay.
Liked my stuff. I met with her, and now she started to represent me.